What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another day in HPH Life. I'm going to do a little video this morning on something I get a lot of questions about. And once I get questions, a lot of times people really don't like my opinion on it, but it is my opinion and something we deal with quite a bit. And that's deleting trucks. Folks always ask if we delete trucks or what's my thoughts on deleting trucks. No, we do not delete trucks. We do not work on deleted trucks. I'm not going to pay fines or maybe even wind up going to jail to make your truck run. We can do a lot of things to make your truck run, but that's not going to be a part of it for us. And B, there's no need to delete trucks. I think it's just a terrible idea. And I know a lot of people disagree, but think about this. You've got this machine that's basically a rolling computer. Everything on it's computerized, all these sensors talking to each other, ECM keeping a check on all the systems, and then you let somebody hack into it and tell it, no matter what happens, everything's okay, just keep running. A lot of times that's fine until something happens, and then it makes it almost impossible to diagnose the truck. And I guess people who dealt with that a lot would probably be better at diagnosing it. But I know a lot of people who deal with that a lot, and they don't seem to be a whole lot better, most of them, at figuring out what's wrong with it. You wind up doing some guesstimating and throwing some parts at it and hoping at some point you figure it out and get it fixed. And to me, it turns into a big headache. And, early on, these DEF systems were a lot of problems. And I'm not going to say I disagreed with a lot of it in the beginning. When the regen and DEF systems first came out, there were a lot of issues with them. And a lot of people were still trying to figure out how to work on them and fix them. But now they're pretty reliable. They're not a lot of trouble. Now, there's a lot of problem getting people to be honest that know how to diagnose them. I can't tell you how many times a month we go somewhere and tow a truck out of another shop or a dealership because they've got a $17,000, $18,000, $22,000, $24,000 estimate to fix it, and we'll send a wrecker to go get it and bring it over here and check it out, and a lot of times fix it for $300, $400. That's something we've done a lot. I don't know if it's, like I said, I don't know if it's more not being honest, but even these dealerships now, I've seen them tell people, you got to have a complete DPF system. You got to have one box. You got to have harnesses. You got to have doser valve. The chances of that being true is pretty much zero. I've never seen a truck need a complete DPF system, and we run a lot of late model trucks through our shop. In fact, I've seen very few trucks that needed a one box. In the thousands and thousands that have run through our shop, I've probably 25 maybe that actually needed a one box. I'd be surprised if it's over that. It's just not. We see a lot of them that somebody else say they needed one, and then it gets here and they need a harness, or they need even maybe something as small as a knock sensor, doser valve. I mean, it's like anything else. There's a lot of times you need components of the DPF system, but I've never seen a truck need a complete DPF system, even though I've seen a lot of estimates that were sent to customers saying they did. And I think a lot of it is people getting maybe paid extra to sell. I mean, it's got to come down to an honesty issue a lot. And it seems like the dealerships are the worst about that. I could, but I won't name about 7 dealerships that repetitively we've gone and got trucks out of their shop and brought them here and check them and fix them for $18,000, $20,000 less than the estimate that they sent over to the customer originally. So they get a $20,000, we'll just average $20,000 estimate to fix it. They give us $1,500 for a wrecker and another $500 or $600 a lot of times we fix the truck. The DPF systems are just not that complicated anymore. They're a lot more reliable than they used to be. You get a deleted truck and you get out on the road, you get away from home, you get away from somebody that works on them or deletes them, it's going to be almost impossible to find somebody to work on it. if you need something done. a lot of people nowadays are just not willing to fool with them. There's been a lot more people getting in trouble over that, and I've had people call talking about they have issues. Now, if you've got a deleted truck and it needs a clutch, I got no reason to know that truck's deleted. I'm not checking that, so I don't have any issue putting a clutch in it. But if you've got a deleted truck and it's missing, and we see a lot of times early used to, and we still find it a pretty good bit. Folks will call us and they won't tell us they got a deleted truck, and we'll go get it, or even it'll show up here and they won't tell us they got a deleted truck. And we can pretty quickly tell that it's been deleted and they got a software issue. I've seen deleted trucks decide, I guess, to ask for an update too, or just something get off in it. And about the only way to fix that is send it back to somebody and have it reprogrammed with the delete. So if you're in an area where you don't know anybody, you don't know who to call, you're not going to call Freightliner and go, hey, I need you to delete my truck, or Kenworth or Peterbilt. They're not going to do that. So then you're just stuck with probably having to get it towed back to whoever deleted it the first time and do it. And I just think all that's unnecessary. You just need to find somebody that you trust, that's decent at doing that stuff. And if somebody gives you a $18,000-$20,000 estimate to fix your truck, ask them if you can keep the gun when they're finished, because there's just not any need for that. I'll guarantee you, if somebody tells you that your truck needs a complete DPF system, they're lying. It's just not accurate. It's not going to happen. So that's just my take on deleting trucks. I don't think there's any need for it. I think it'll take you down a bad road. I think it'll get you somewhere and get you stranded, wind up costing you a lot more money. When most of the time these trucks nowadays can be fixed for a lot less. I mean, the most expensive thing is a one box. They've come down a lot. One boxes used to be fairly expensive. They're not near as bad as they used to be. But it's just a lot better to keep these trucks running the way they were designed and doing what they were intended to do. You're just trading a little headache for a great big headache when you let somebody go hacking into that thing and start changing it. And I'll tell you another thing that I know for a fact happens a lot. People will take their truck to somebody to get it deleted, and they don't even actually do a delete on the truck. They just go in there and set up parameters so that the truck always, they turn off all the shutdowns and set up some parameters, but they don't actually complete a delete. And I'm not going to go into what they do or don't do other than that, but they don't actually complete it. And then you leave with it and get halfway across the country, and the truck realizes that all this stuff's been hacked on and it shuts off. And then you try to call that con artist that hacked into that truck, and they're nowhere to be found. You've given them $5,000-$6,000 to just bend you over, basically. For me, most of the time, you see what our trucks look like. I'm gonna stick with pre-emissions trucks as much as I can. Now, we ran trucks. A couple of years ago, we were running 30-something trucks, and most of those were Freightliner Cascadias. And the way we got those trucks is I bought a lot of trucks, that had engine issues, real nice bodies, whatever, had engine issues. Most of the trucks pretty decent. And we did kind of like we did with the Peterbilt we gave away. We brought them in here, we built a motor, we'd put a transmission in them or go through the transmission, we'd go through the rear ends, we'd replace harnesses, seats, floor mats, brakes, whatever they needed. We'd basically make them new and put them out. And when I'd buy some of those trucks, I'd find that I had bought a deleted truck. Somebody come in and want their truck fixed, or have an engine issue and want it fixed, not have the money to fix it. A lot of times I wind up buying those trucks from people and parting them out. We'd get them and pull them out and go through them. Back then we were running trucks when trucking was doing good, and we'd decide it'd be one we'd fix up. It'd be pretty nice, but then we'd realize it's deleted. Yeah, we still could have, and sometimes did, go ahead and put it back like it's supposed to be. We'd have like a wreck truck that we get all the parts off of. and put it back like it's supposed to be. We do that sometimes, but even the trucks I ran myself, the over-road trucks I ran myself, if they were supposed to have a DPF system on them, they had a DPF system. I didn't run any deleted trucks. So, think about that. And I guess big trucks and pickups are a lot different. Pickups, you probably wouldn't have as much trouble with. You're probably always going to be close to whoever did the work for you. That's probably a lot more up to you whether or not I'd do that. If it was me, I still wouldn't. Of course, I wouldn't buy a diesel pickup truck nowadays, a late model pickup truck. I used to be a big fan of the diesel pickups, and when the 5.9 went away, my desire to own a diesel pickup went away. We've still got a couple of those floating around here, obviously, that do great, but there's no way I'd go buy a pickup with a DPF system. We kind of changed to running the 6.0 gas burners, which have always done us great. We averaged 300,000 miles on those trucks, running them as service trucks. In fact, I don't think out of the 40-something we've probably had over the years, we've had one that didn't get to 300,000 miles, put a transmission in at around 180 and drive it. And it's got 1.5 tons, 2 tons of tools on it everywhere it goes, does great. Gas mileage sucks. They get 9 miles to the gallon. Every one of them get 9 miles to the gallon. Even the ones we have that are not service trucks, just pickups, they get 9 miles to the gallon. Now, they don't care if they got 9 miles to the gallon. They got a trailer behind them pulling 10,000 pounds, or you're just driving at the grocery store. It's 9 miles to the gallon. But in the long run, it also cost me $100 to do an oil change versus $400. And I don't have to work on it versus constantly having to regen, add def, doser valves, injectors, harnesses, turbos. So I'll take the 9 miles to the gallon on a truck that'll get it done versus a diesel pickup any day of the week. Just not a fan of that at all. But that's just my opinion. Everybody's got their own. There's a lot of sayings about that, but if you have an option to buy pre-emissions, just like we do, we take these W9s. Y'all see some of that. We take these W9s, we go through them, make them brand new. There'll probably come a time that we won't be able to do that. Won't be able to get parts or whatever. I see that coming, but I'll be out of this before that happens and be done. So that's going to be the problem of these boys running around here, not me. But I also think, just like cars, emission systems on them, these emission systems on these trucks are just going to keep getting better and better to where they're less and less of an issue. I mean, I've seen that, from 2010 to 2024, I've seen them come a long, long way and be a lot more dependable. So that's just my thoughts on deleted trucks. Got no use for deleted trucks. Don't delete trucks. Don't want deleted trucks here. And if you're curious, that's what I think. Y'all have a great day.